Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Fix This Build That Sunday Night Live show. I'm Brad, and Susan will be joining us shortly, but running a little bit behind today. Honestly, guys, we're probably going to change the day or the time or something, because every Sunday night, it's like we know it's coming, it's on the calendar, everything, but if you get behind, it's so hard to get back out in front of it. So that's kind of what we're into. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if the audio's okay. I blew everything out before I did it, but you know, we've been having a few audio glitches lately. This week I've been working on, I've got some stuff down here that I've been messing with. This is just like the most ambiguous sneak peek ever. I've been working with this, not wood, and that's part of the next project. So there you go. All right, let me, I'm still like, I didn't have the monitor hooked up. I was like scrambling, so I'm trying to get it all done now. So bear with me just 1 second. And Katie Lockridge, I saw you coming in hot with a super chat, which we will get to in just a moment. All right, I got everything lined up. Awesome. Hope everybody's doing well. I tell you what, Tennessee volunteer basketball doing awesome this year, and hopefully they get a 1-seed or a 2-seed. We look really bright. That's okay. All right, before we jump into it, I do want to thank some new members who joined the Builders Club. We had Bayou Biker, Ben Emerson, Rachel Smith, David Bottini, Alan Preischel, and the Andrews. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting the channel and joining the Builders Club. If you're interested in that, those folks are going to be getting sneak previews to the videos, shout-outs on the live, shout-outs on the mainstream videos, main videos, whatever you want to call them. There at the end, as well as free plans. So if you're interested, check it out, fixthisbuildthat.com/Builders Club. And thank you to all those Builder Club members who are here today. All right, speaking of who's here today, let's jump in. I'm trying to get everything under control here. All right, making sure my audio is good. Looks like it's good. Okay, let's see. We've got Daniel Pikes. We've got the Halligans and Batons. Batons. Sorry, I always say Batons. It just looks like Batons. We've got Alan. We got Katie. Ooh, what was this, Katie? I like this. The super sticker is like a little person jumping up doing the split, saying "Yippee!" I love it. Let's see here. Who else we got in here? Travis, Steve L. What's up? We got Will in the house. Brian P. and Brian Farth. Eddie, Fiddle and Fix. How's it going, Fiddle and Fix? Tyrone Pelfrey, what's up, dude? And Jeff Baker. Awesome. What is up, guys? Cool. Well, like I said, this week, and you guys can throw out your guesses of what that was that I just held up. But it's kind of interesting. I think it's interesting. But that piece, actually, the little piece that I just picked, the thing I was messing with, was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. It actually worked out really well. All right, what do we got? Just waiting patiently. Thank you, Travis. So Katie did I think Katie did a post on Instagram and about the wood prices, the lumber prices that are just like they're higher than they ever were in the pandemic at this point, which is no bueno. I mean, with everything going on in Ukraine and Russia, I was like, what's that? The Baltic region? I guess you call it the Baltic region. Ooh, man, I bet Baltic birch is probably about $1 million now. I wonder, I mean, Baltic birch, a lot of it does come from Russia, but I'm wondering, do you guys know? Answer if you know. Are there other Baltic countries that do that? I know a lot of it is from Russia, and I assume that is obviously going to have some major issues with supply and all that good stuff. So, you know, we just can't win for trying here in the lumber world. All right, let's see here. Ooh, Katie, any more excited? Oh, I should have brought that out, Katie. I should have brought out. So if you guys are following me along on my stories, I've been doing some 3D printing for this next video as well. It's not really a project. It's more of a video. So I am building stuff. But the 3D printer, I blew it up. Like I literally destroyed the 3D printer, parts of it. Luckily, 3D printers are pretty modular. You can just take the parts off and fix it. But like they call the hot end, so it's like if just as a real easy primer on 3D printing, you basically have a spool of plastic called filament. PLA is what I was using, and it's feeds through in a small wire that then goes into a heater. A hot end is what they call it, a hot end that goes down, that melts the plastic into liquid, and then it shoots it out of a nozzle, and then that's how it, and then it forms whatever you're doing. And then there's a fan that blows on it, and it cools very quickly and hardens and takes the structure, and that's how 3D printing works. Well, I did a 10-hour print, and I left at about minute 5. I think somewhere around minute 12, all the pieces came up. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think the pieces lost adhesion on the bed, which then clogged up the nozzle, and then so the nozzle couldn't shoot out the stuff the way it needed to be, and then it just ballooned. There was just and this was like for 5 hours. It was just spewing out plastic, and it couldn't go anywhere, and so it just kept bubbling up, and it was like, it looks like a brain. It just looked like this crazy like lobster shrimp brain because it was red. Totally destroyed the hot end on that thing. Had to replace it completely. So, yeah, good times in 3D printing. All right, yes, and Alan, my voice is much better now. Definitely better than it was last week. Crafted by Colin. Oh, dude, yeah. I'm glad you got the stickers, bro. Yeah, I was way deep on the stickers, man. Actually, I think one set that I sent out was literally a year old. I was like, I had just like lost track of it because it's like this little tracking mechanism in Patreon, and yeah, the stickers just it got me, man. So I apologize, Colin, but I'm glad you got it. And I tried to write like a little. So there's about, I think there was like a half dozen that I had overdue that had kind of slipped through the cracks, slipped through the cracks, not the tracks. And so I wrote a much more in-depth note than I typically do. So, all right, who else we have out here? Scott is in the house. What's up, Scott? We missed you last week, man. I don't know if you're like still flying back, but yeah, we didn't really talk much about Workbench Con last. I mean, we did. Will said foam board. Will, you are 1,000% correct. That is foam board. Nice call, Will. This is foam board. How'd you get that, man? I'm impressed. Yeah, this is foam board. This is exactly what this is. It is a rigid foam with basically poster board on the outsides. And this is like the thick kind. Usually it's not quite as thick as this. I think this is like over 1/4 inch. I want to say this might be 6 millimeters. Probably, maybe more like 7. Let's go. We're going to go millimeters on this one because I think that's what it's measuring. Oh gosh, way more than that. Shoot, 11.3. What is that? That's like a lot. That's almost a 1/2 inch. That's 7/16, baby, 0.44 on the old inch side. 7/16. So that is substantially thicker than 1/4 inch, which is funny because I said 1/4 inch in the video. That'll be our secret. All right. Scott just woke up from Workbench Con. Stan Powell, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, my man. Oh, yeah. Scott, hope yours was not as bad as mine. Pat Lev, what's up, dude? How are you? Katie, really enjoyed the kite video. Yes, we went out to, if you're not following me on Instagram and seeing the stories, you can get some behind the scenes stuff there of all kinds of stuff. But this, some personal stuff, some just the stuff I'm working on. But the kite that Katie's talking about, we went to the park yesterday, and it was nice and windy out. It was kind of on and off windy. It was really windy, and then it kind of died down, but it was going off and on. So it was good enough for kites, but one of those where every now and then you'd have to run with it. And I didn't have the right. Like the kite had this it's like super basic kite, right? It's got like a metal pole that goes up the center, like a metal rod, not a pole, metal rod that goes up the center, and then 2 that kind of plug in, so you could unattach them and then like fold it up. So it's like a cross or a T. And somehow we had lost one, so they're like opposite sizes. So we had one that was a shorter one and one that was a longer one, and 2 separate kites where they each needed 2 of their kind, but we had 1 of each, if that makes sense. And so then it wasn't working real well, and I was just like, there's trees over there. I can make a rod. And so I went over to like this tree and just cut off some of the little sucker. There's like they call them suckers, like if it's like a branch going out like that, and then there's a shoot just coming straight up. So like it wasn't hurting the tree. But lopped off a couple of those suckers and like whittled them down and cut them with my knife and then like put them in and used it in the kite. And I'll be darned, that sucker worked. It was great. I felt like my kids thought I was like, you know, Bear Grylls out there. I was like, oh man, I just whipped out my knife and I'm like cutting stuff down in the forest. I mean, it's a little branch, and yeah, it worked. So if you need to do a repair on a kite, just grab a branch off a tree. It'll work. At least it did for me. Yeah, and Katie, how have you never flown a kite? That seems odd. Will, to tell you the truth, it's hard to see everybody getting the big shops. I know it is, dude. So, Will, the stickers are at a higher level, and I can't recall exactly which level you're at, Will, but I think the stickers are on. And I guess I used to have them at a lower level, and it just got to be too much, and so I bumped it up. I think they're all the way up at like the $25 level. So it's just a nice little add-on. It's definitely not the main draw of that level. It's more of like a handwritten note in the stickers as just a little thank you. So I believe the way it goes would be like, you know, there's like a $2 level, I think, which is basically just thanks. A $5 level, kind of same thing. $10 level, that's where you start getting stuff, which is the free plans. The monthly plan code is at the $10 level, and then the $25 level is where you get into the kind of static, the top members thing. So that's where you get your name in the end, like on every single video, not just as a new member. And then that's where the stickers go. And then the highest level is the $50, which is like your name in neon up there. And there's like an onboarding call, all this cool stuff. It's all there on the Patreon. If you want to go to the site, you can read and see that stuff. But that's why. So you didn't miss out. You didn't miss out. Or at least, you know, you didn't miss out on what you should have gotten. Let's see. Oh, Daniel finally reassembled the table saw today. I like it, man. How's it? Did it get up and running? We use it in show business to build temporary sets. There you go. Will knows what's up. So he's a foam board maestro. Barrio Woodworking, what's up, dude? Heard there was some serious alcohol consumed at Workbench Con. I can neither confirm nor deny that. I mean, that's not kind of my thing. Speaking of that, I don't even have a beer tonight. I'm still detoxing. I mean, no, I'm saying we're so out of sorts. We didn't even have any beer in the house, and that's why I don't have any right now. But yes, there were some drinks were drank, some beers they weren't brewed. What would be a good B word for, you know, trying alliteration? Boasted? No, that wouldn't work. I don't know. Somebody come up with a good one for me. Yes, Brian P. MacGyver would have been a better thing than whatever I said. I can't remember. I'm super slow right now. Bear Grylls is what I said. He's like survival. He's not like fly kite. He's more like, he would have taken that stick and like stabbed like a squirrel and then cooked it and survived. Scott, you declined your onboarding call. Let's be very clear there. I offered, and you said it's okay. I don't need it. But you got the onboarding, like handshake, hug, picture. Like Scott and I got to hang out a little bit at Workbench Con, which was fantastic. Do you guys have any questions about Workbench Con? Because I know we talked about it a little bit. I mean, we talked about like, hey, who would it be good for? But if you guys had any questions about it, like, feel free to shoot them out there, and I will be more than happy to answer them. We did talk. Why did this thing? Sorry, my window, like whenever I you like resize a window. So I resize the window so I can see the comments and then I can see the live stream. It like resizes it to like twice the height of the monitor, and I'm like, why do I have to keep scrolling to see things? Okay. Anyway, so all right, I'm going to throw some things out here, and I want to get y'all's feedback on what y'all think about the style of videos, because we've been talking about, you know, mixing things up and doing things. By the way, we have a new website that is under construction, at least a new kind of a rebrand, not even rebrand, just a new site. Site redesign would be a great word for it. Site redesign is in progress. Chris has been working hard on it. He's been doing awesome, and I'm really excited about it. So we've been doing a few new things. Nothing from a rebranding perspective per se, but really stoked about that. And then like we've been going through that, and then just thinking about different styles of videos. So I think we've talked about just continuing to get better and kind of not reinventing ourselves, but just refreshing. And so as I'm thinking about doing this on the video side, one of the things that I've been thinking about is doing is like trying out some more things where it's really like an exploratory, me doing something something I've never done before, and doing it in more of a way where it's just like a documentary. I mean, not a documentary, that sounded weird, but where it's just like, oh man, this messed up, like let's try something new. More of like a thought process, right? So typically what I'll do is I'll kind of work through most of that off camera, or just be like, okay, and then now I know what I'm gonna do. I might do a little bit of explaining, but I've probably already tried it, or I may have, done something, like mocked something up or done something beforehand. And so what I'm thinking about is like, just, and not woodworking, because like I already know too much there. Or when I say not woodworking, like not just straight like building something, but like it might be something with electronics, or it might be something with a new material like silicone molds or something. I don't know. I've never used silicone molds before. And just like working through that, and so if you're familiar with like Simone Yurts, she just had a video today. That's what got me thinking about it. And she kind of went through that process. Stuff Made Here does that a lot, where he's like shows the failures, and he's like, oh gosh, and kind of like works through the process. So I just want to throw it out there. Like, what do you guys think about those style videos where it's more about the journey than the end product in a sense? So let me know what you guys think, because I would love to hear what you think. That's why I just asked you, what do you think? I don't know why I said that again. What's the story with Haven Conference? Scott, Haven Conference was what Workbench Con kind of spawned out of. And so now, from my understanding, and I went for several years, I even went to the first Workbench Con and Haven at the same time, then realized, okay, I don't need to go back to Haven. Haven is very blog centric. At least it was. I don't know how they've changed, but it started out very, very blog centric. I'm sure it's probably much more, a lot more YouTube involved, but that's how it started, as bloggers doing that. And right now it's based more around like design, organization, because it used to be like DIY design and organization. So now that DIY has their own design, organization, like more like lifestyle. Not cooking, but I think a lot of that comes into it, and it's just a different thing. It's typically more female than, like, it's usually the flip side. Like Workbench Con is 90% male or more, and Haven is 90% female or more, and that's just because of the topics, I think, about like when you look at how many creators are out there in woodworking versus home organization and decorating. Decorating is the other one, if I didn't say that. And so that's how it goes. So like it's really weird to be there. Like I was a total fish out of water. It was like me, Ben Ueda, and like Jameson Rance from Rogue Engineer. And like we're like the only dudes there that aren't husbands of people who are there. So it was really kind of weird. But it was great. It was a fantastic conference. I got a lot out of it when I was there. All right, let's see. We're going to go through there. Daniel, any recommendations for simple fastenerless joinery for making trinket boxes other than, other than box joints? Simple fastenerless joinery for making trinket boxes. Fastenerless. I mean, if you're doing fastenerless, right, you're either going to do, if you're talking fastenerless, you obviously have box joints, but you have dovetails. You could do so probably the easiest one, honestly, would be just a rabbet on the sides to hold it in, and you would just be relying on the glue connection if you didn't want to do a fastener. But you would rabbet. You could rabbet. You could do a locking. You could also do a locking miter joint. So that's let's see if I can. I got some here. Let me see if I can draw. It's been a long time since I have thought about this, but yeah, I would say probably a locking miter, which I believe, I'm going to do this wrong, I know. So bear with me. I'll draw the note. Okay, so you would have one side that's like this, or one piece. Yeah, and then just like that. Then the other piece would be like this. So this would be your side, or your, can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that. So that would be, don't do it the other way, but yeah, this is the one I would probably do for a fastenerless, because that will hold together well with glue. Yeah, and just, you can do it so that this would be, if you're using 3/4 inch material, you can split it down the middle, make it 3/8 and 3/8, and then have, so this would be 3/8 from here to here, that would be 3/8, and so that you can use the same setup, and then that would be 3/8, so you'd need like a dado blade to cut those. So yeah, that's what I would say, this one here. I believe they call that a locking rabbet, maybe. Boom. That's like straight out of woodworking magazines right there. That's where I know that from. All right, what other questions do we have here? Daniel Pikes likes the in process. Thank you, Daniel. T-Hub, what's up, brother? Finger joints. Finger joints would be a good one. Barrio, do I feel that YouTube is oversaturated with woodworking channels? No, I don't, because, I mean, are there a lot of them? Yeah, I mean, when you say oversaturated, okay, I mean, yeah, there are, in a sense that, I mean, everything's oversaturated. So I don't think it's like abnormal to anything else, I guess would be my point. And that also, I think there's a spot for everybody. So when I think oversaturated, I mean, it's like a very negative connotation to me. But what I think is like there's a lot of people that have like a great following, right? They may only have, who knows? They may only have 600 followers, but like they're people that love their videos, right? So I would never say it's oversaturated so that you shouldn't start a YouTube channel. Is it oversaturated and is it harder to get established? Yes, 100%, because there's so many choices. But that just means that you have to work a little harder. You have to be a little different than everybody else. You have to have something that other people don't have. But when you do, it helps you stand out. I always talk about Jason Hibbs, because from Bourbon Moth, he's a buddy of mine, and his channel blew up, right? If he had said, there's too many people, and he only like started like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he just completely blew up, and it's because he had a style that nobody was really doing well, or he's very unique. So multiple people could do that style, and his is like he's really great woodworker, so he knows what the heck he's talking about, explains it well. And he's also just like completely crazy, goofy, funny dude, and so that's obviously a great combo that people love to see, and that wasn't getting served, and so he skyrocketed out. So it's never too oversaturated to start, would be my feedback. But yes, there's a lot of people out there doing it, which is great. I love it. Yeah, Scott, Bob does do a good job as well about working through that. I feel like, his is, he does. I think he's just so good. He works through them so fast. So I don't know how much of that, because it's typically not like involved he doesn't fail as much. Like he doesn't have, Bob is just like, he blows me away, like of how like he is an amazing problem solver, because it's like whenever he runs into those issues, he just seems to like, and I don't know if that's just the editing, but I don't think it is, because I know Bob and like I've seen him work through things, and he does not get held back very long. He just runs right through it. So I almost feel like it's like just a bump in the road versus like, oh my gosh. Katie says, would help new makers understand the scale in regards to time and challenges. I like that. 20-minute video and getting unrealistic. Oh yeah, see, I got you. She's saying that, if you don't include enough about the journey, people might think, oh, how come I can't do this? Because this guy just did it. And yeah, a 20-minute video with a ton of montages, well, that actually took a week and a half. So I get it. Jeff likes the idea, exploring technology. Yep. And key basics we can take away and apply that we're thinking of creating or making. I like that. Yeah, and that's the thing, Jeff, too, is that, there might not be like a great aha project out of it. It might be more of like, ooh, this would be a fun thing to incorporate in something else. So just some ideas that I'm wrestling around with. So I appreciate y'all's feedback on that. All right, what else do we have here? Open up new possibilities of ways of doing things. Absolutely. All the classes are women speakers in Haven. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. What is a nap joint, Katie? I don't know what a nap joint is. Hey, Dennis Miko, what's up, my man? Some leaders. Taylor, I don't know what you're drinking, or maybe you're drinking some leaders, some miters with spline. Yeah, that's a good one too. I like that. That's actually really great. Like, why didn't I think of that, Taylor? That should have been my first go-to, because I've actually done them. I have a box right. Taylor. See, Taylor knows what's up. And he probably knows. He's like, oh yeah, I know you got that box, Brad. So this is a little trinket box, if you will, jewelry box that has mitered splines, splined miters. Mitered splines? Splined miters. Why does that sound so weird? It sounds like you should say mitered splines. But that's not right. It's a splined miter. So I did these with just miter joints, and then very easy to make these. I've got a video on it if you'd like to see me with, no beard and no hat. But, basically, right, you just cut the miters on all four, glue together the box, cut the spline, cut the little joints in there, put the splines in, and then part the top. And then, yeah, Bob's your uncle, you're done. Well, you have to put the groove for the top in there as well. But yes, that is an excellent way. Thank you, Mr. Hubble. I know, Mr. Davis. I don't know where the beer is. Well, Susan wasn't going to bring beer. She was going to bring me water though. She's like I said, we were really behind, so I don't know if she's even going to make it. I hope she does though. I'm parched. I need some liquids. And we don't have any beer in the house at the moment. We have no idea what we're doing. No, Scott, totally. And you guys know I don't edit out my mistakes. I've been leaning into mistakes. Mistakes were made for several years now, so I completely agree with Bob on that. But it's more of, because it's easy to. I think the differential that I'm talking about is more of like flying into something that I have no idea what I'm doing, and like knowing that I'm going to screw it up, versus there's a big difference in my mind between that and like doing something I should know how to do and I still screw it up, right? Like those are like the mistakes where you cut something too short or you do whatever. But like I'm talking about like, oh, I'm going to wire up, like I've got a bunch of electronics coming over from AliExpress, and I'm going to do, there's like some Bluetooth amplifiers and some buck converters and stuff. And I'm going to try to do some things that like DIY Perks style, where he works with a bunch of electronics and like taking parts and putting them together from like old things and then, using whatever. And so that'll be like, plug it in, be like, I don't know, I might blow this up, I might not. And instead of like figuring out beforehand and then doing it, just like, all right, guys, I have no idea what I'm doing. Looks like it says this is the input. Let's put another poof of smoke. Oops. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Let's see here. Opening. Do we find out what a nap joint is yet? Nap joint is traditionally used in furniture making, predominantly drawers, but it's like circular dovetails. That sounds really hard. He asked for simple, Katie, not. I'm going to be simple with a router, I guess. So maybe I'm sure there's jigs. Hold on, just got a text. Let's see. It might be the wife. I bet it is. She's like, I am not. Oh, it is. Yes. This was a few minutes ago. This was Johnny Brook that just texted me. He got a new VR racing simulator, so he was sending me pictures. Susan is staying with our middle guy. Says, I hope to be there by 9, maybe a bit later. We're at 9:06 now, so I'm guessing the money on a bit later is working. This guy, the beer. The mistakes are made. Mr. Davis, thank you. He likes that a lot. Yeah, I think the mistakes are a great learning point. And it's something that I'm going to continue to put. I just like want to maybe just go headlong into some stuff that and just like set myself up for mistakes almost. Not in a way of just like for the content, but like just of trying something new that I've never done before and seeing what happens and working my way through it. So how many liters is 3 pints? Asking for a friend. Hey, I'm at 0 pints right now, Taylor. Um, excuse me. Dan, you having issues with the live feed? Hopefully it's not on my end. Our connection looks pretty strong over here, so I'm hoping that's just on your side. Feed's good here, good here. All right, good. Scott Walsh, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, welcome. Daniel's like, I don't know. It's probably the fact that I'm on my phone in the middle of a field, at a bonfire. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Johnny none of my friends ever come to the live. Scott, every once in a while, we'll get people drop in. Who, like the most recent folks, I think, Izzy dropped in. Oh, no, maybe that was a while ago. Who was the last one? Jonathan Katz-Moses dropped in not too long ago. By the way, he sent me, which is hilarious because they were like a year and a half overdue. I got to show you this, what he sent me. I think they're right over here. All right. I will be right back. If you just joined live, I am here. I'm just grabbing something. All right, here we go. So Jonathan, he told me literally a year and a half ago. He's like, hey, I made something for you. I want to send it over. I was like, okay, sweet. And then, like, life happened. Jonathan had a lot of stuff going on, so he gets a pass. But I just thought it was funny. He finally sent it. I just got it this last week. So Katz-Moses stop block, if you guys have seen these. Really cool stop block. It adjusts, like, not really micro adjust. I mean, there's not a micro adjustment, but it can go left and right. It's like I don't know, what would you call that? Like a wavy pattern there, not quite like miters. I guess it is miters if you look at it that way. And you can adjust this up or down. So if you had a fence that was smaller or taller, is this gonna, no, these are threaded, okay. And these are powder coated, which are super nice. So if you had a fence that was a lot taller, you can adjust this down here and put the screw in, and it's like a little stop block. Anyway, and he laser etched it with my logo in there, which is pretty sweet. So a big shout out to Jonathan. And if you have not seen these, I'm sure probably most of you have, but if you've not, you can pick them up over there. He just launched a new site not too long ago, and the new brand, Katz-Moses Tools. So go check him out. He's got a lot of cool stuff over there. There we go. I got to hang out with Jonathan a bunch over the past few months out in Oklahoma, and then at the whatchamajigger, the Workbench Con. Vince, hey, what's up, dude? Just got my first router. Any beginner tips so I finished my project with the 10 fingers I started with? Vince, yes, routers can be scary, dude. So be careful. Routers are scary because it's spinning the bed at tens of thousands of RPMs. And the biggest thing about those, obviously, like, keep your hands on the router, or just make sure you are very aware of that bit. But the lesson I learned, and I love this one. So one thing about the router is that you want to make sure you're feeding it the right direction, because the bit spins, right, in one direction. And if you feed it, if you do what they call a climb cut, and you go with the spin of the bit, so the bit's spinning like this, right? And so the bit's coming like this. And so the cutting edge is like that. And so you want the cutting edge to be coming into the wood, right? Because if you go this way, what's going to happen is that it's going to catch that and push, because as the cutting motion goes, right, if you're pushing it this way, the teeth you're pressing the teeth with your pressure. You're helping it go into the wood. If you're going this way, you're going kind of with the reactionary force on the router, meaning that when that tooth digs in, it just like if you're pushing, right? So if I push on this, I'm not a cutting blade, but that was horrible, by the way. But if I'm pushing on this, it's going to want to go that way. So if you're doing a climb cut and you're going this way, all of a sudden it catches, and it just like a spinning wheel, right? And you're like, it'll take off from you. And if you have your hand on the edge and you're doing a climb cut this way, and it catches in that wood, it can mess you up. So how do you remember how to do it? This is what I always learned. So two things. One, the router bit, so if you use your right hand, and this might look weird. No, it's not flipped. It should look okay. So your right hand, wherever your thumb is pointing, you want your thumb pointed into the wood and your fingers pointing in the direction to push the router. So like, that's how I always remember it. Like, boom, boom, right? So if you got this board, then I would say, oh, okay, here. So I'm gonna go this way. If I came around to the other side, obviously, I would look at the board that way my fingers would be pointed like that. And so I'm going to come down at this side. So if I'm routing from, so don't route on the left side of the board away from you like that. The other way was like if you're thinking about, if you want to visualize how the bit spins, is your thumb. And if your thumb is pointing up, like because it's different when it's in a router table, it's the opposite. So if the bit is pointing up, the way, again with your right hand, when you curl your fingers, that's the direction it spins. So if the bit is up, the bit is now spinning this way if it's pointed up. If you're holding it from above, it's spinning this way. So those are two cool little tricks I always loved with that right hand. This one, just thumb, wood, fingers, direction of the router, and then curl, 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 curl. No, don't do it with your left hand, just the right hand. Do y'all know that one? I love that one. That's a great trick. I just did all kinds. There's got to be a good. We're gonna go curl. That's a good title. And I think there's got to be a good picture of me doing something stupid there. Some kind of funny thing. We'll just go with that. I always have to. I feel like Mark had a really Spagnola. He had a really a great way. I think they would like. He had some kind of thing set up where people would submit titles, and so now they would have a lot more people than we do. Not anything against you guys, obviously, but they had a much larger audience, and they would like, they would like put titles in. I don't know, maybe if any of you used to go to that. I think he stopped actually back in October. I didn't realize he had stopped until not too long ago. But they would put in like titles, and then I think you could actually like vote on them. But people would like put in titles, and they'd go in there and pick whichever one got the most votes, or I don't know. It was kind of fun. All right, yeah. So vents, there you go. Hopefully that helps. Router moves to the right. Do end grain first. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, end grain first. That's a good one because you will avoid tear out. Awesome accessory. Yeah, everybody loves the Cat's Moses stop block. I do as well. The hand trick made sense. Perfect, Vince. Good. Any shop builds in the plans for this year? And can I share some possible projects I want to do this year? Will. Yes, definitely do have shop projects in mind. Although, like, the shop's getting pretty darn well built out, which is fantastic, but it also kind of pains me a little bit. I'm like, I need more shop projects. Just start tearing stuff down and redoing it. I'm only half kidding there. I will not tear down any cabinets, but some of these other little things might do. So this is kind of a niche one, but I'll do it eventually probably, is a base for my drum sander, because it's just a steel stand right now and I could get some more storage out of that for better utilization. Potentially a router table, because I have same idea, except just making one out of wood, because it's a metal stand and it's a pain in the butt to move because of how they have it. It's like this stupid lift mess. It's horrible. I hate it. The stand, the router table is fine, but moving it is atrocious. Those are like way down the list. I don't know why I even said those. Somebody just arrived. The biggest one, this right here. I'm committing.
What did you want to say?
Did you bring my water, did you?
I couldn't find it. I wanted to get out here.
Listen. Must have been tough. Tough on the front lines these days.
They got me with the guilt.
It happens. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I am committing. Some type of new assembly table will be done this year. She just laughs.
No, I laugh because it's March. You're like, this year, yes.
Yeah, I'll probably be cutting it close too.
You probably will. I think.
There's not much left.
I believe this will happen. But what? Making faces at me.
Oh, I don't know.
I believe it'll happen. I do.
All right.
You've been talking about it long enough.
I know. I have.
Yeah. He's whittled away all the other little projects. So.
And then we were just talking about projects on. We went for a little walk this evening. That was probably part of why we were running late.
I thought you were like walking around the shop. I'm like, I
didn't take them for a walk. You and I, remember when we
did?
Went for a walk?
Yeah. Yes.
And
nice.
what are we even talking about? I don't remember.
On the walk?
For the projects.
I don't think we actually ever.
We didn't get to it. And
We started talking about how we didn't know what we were going to do.
Well, I was telling them about like the style of mistake,
Right,
kind of discovery. So that's what we actually talked about on the walk. So it was more of that.
True.
But yeah, I honestly, I have quite a few that are on the list, but they're like nothing that's just like super exciting to me at the moment. The bathroom, we need to remodel our main bathroom.
That's not exciting to you?
No, the end is, but like doing it is going to be a huge project.
Oh yeah, it's going to be huge, but it's going to be so nice.
Yeah, some bookcases with some cool hidden features. We talked about that.
Yes.
I don't know. I have a fear of commitment and large projects. We've been talking about something for the backyard, but it's also a very large project. Yeah, I am not like Maleki or April or Mr. Build It. They just they love big projects. They just love going headlong into big projects. That is not my style. I'll own it. I just it. It scares me. I'm like, oh gosh, that seems like a lot of work. Not from not from like not wanting to do work, but just like the moving parts. You guys know me, like my brain.
Yeah.
I think too much about stuff, and so like that's the part I'm just like, oh my gosh, so many things. Like where like my mind is just like I get overwhelmed when I think about those bigger things. So we were just talking about what are some like mid-sized things we can do.
We always want.
So, let us know if you got ideas.
Right,
let us know.
If you have ideas for us, then bring them on. Fast, easy, fun.
Not fast, easy. Middle and... You all right? You can make it?
I don't know. I will.
Huh?
I mean, there's only like 10 minutes left. Children.
Yes.
Yeah, not fast and easy.
No.
Middle of the road and somewhat challenging.
Yes.
Achievable. Achievably challenging.
Yes.
Inquisitive.
Everybody's like, oh, there she is, finally. She's,
Yeah,
what was the, he said, was it Scared of the Monsters?
No.
Or was
No. It's middle son, who is normally scared of the monsters. Huge guilt trip. I was trying to rush out of the room real fast, and he pretty much told me, he flat out told me that he needed me, and why wasn't I staying? I said, you're fine. He doesn't.
Am I not more important than these people on the live?
He said, you are choosing people on the live that you don't see in real life over your child, is what he told me. And I was just like, oh, Tyler. And I was like, but he's like, I said, but you don't need me right now. And he said, I need you to be available. And I said, but I'm right downstairs. Because it's not the same. And I was like, so then I laid in there with him. And what happened, do you think?
He fell right asleep.
No, I fell asleep.
Oh, of course.
And he didn't wake me up,
right.
the little stinker pants. He was still awake. I mean, I only fell asleep for like 10 minutes, but that was 10 minutes longer than I was planning on laying in the bed.
Susan has never met a soft surface she can't fall asleep on.
That's my
rarely
superpower.
Met a hard surface she can't fall asleep on. She'll just, for a while there, she was posting up right on the floor. She'd just like grab a pillow, a blanket, and
like on the hard floor. I still do that on the carpet.
Right on the carpet.
That's my nap of choice place.
I mean, it's not like
in the
this isn't like a plush.
It's like a 20-minute power nap in the afternoon, sometimes 10. And I grab a pillow and a blanket and I lay on the carpet floor, and it's wonderful. I can't explain it. I would rather sleep there than on the couch for a 20-minute nap.
She's crazy.
I'm weird. What can I say? And then I feel like a brand new woman. Before that, I'm like crazy zombie. Like I can't focus. I'm falling asleep looking at the computer screen.
I will give her that.
And then I'm just like fresh as a daisy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Scott, I should just go buy Travis's plans from Shop Nation.
For what?
Never.
Oh,
He was like, oh, for a workbench. Yeah, you just go get the plans from him. I know. Yeah. Well, a lot lately I've been using the joiner and the planer. I mean, I use the table saw all the time still, obviously, for a lot of the plywood stuff. But the joiner and the planer, like I do it for trim, and I just cut all that out of the videos because, like milling trim. Because if I'm milling something to like an easily purchasable size,
I never even noticed that.
Yeah, I haven't
I feel
shown
so
those.
Unobservant. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that.
So like for all the drawer fronts, so I have like the drawer fronts for the cabinets for both the two sets of cabinets in the office, I milled up the poplar for those. I think I did show a little. I showed like just a very little bit.
Teensy amount.
Because it's just like I don't think that people.
I think it depends on the video too.
It does depend upon the video.
Right.
But like
And
most people are probably already buying
purpose.
surface stuff, and it's
Right.
not. It's like, oh, I'm just getting this down to size, and it's like poplar, so it's not like I'm taking walnut and being like seeing all this like
Right.
great grain come to.
Well, and it
out
isn't
of
like
the
you
wood.
haven't put out a million videos where you milled things down already.
It's very
Not
true.
that that really matters because somebody wouldn't know to go look at that, but I don't know.
I do, but you're right, Will. I do.
Good
I know.
observation.
I know, man.
Way to pay attention.
Oh gosh. All right, cool. Well,
Are you serious?
Susan, thank you for joining. I think we're gonna get going now.
Nice seeing you. Good night.
Come
Tomorrow.
on, come on, you
no,
can't
did
stay
you
so
say
long.
that next week? What's happening?
Oh.
Yeah.
Next week.
This is why I'm
Sure.
here, people, to remind him.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna be on vacation.
Yes. Spring break, baby.
So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, I don't
not gonna
think it'll
force it.
work. Yeah.
You know, we're trying to be a little like especially like if we're on the vacation trying to do the iPad with the kids, they'll be like,
it never works well.
it doesn't.
Yeah. I think that's a good play. It's 2 weeks from now because
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll do like an Instagram live. Just
Maybe.
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 We
If
are
we
not
have time.
committing to that
If we have time, maybe go to Bed Bath & Beyond.
because
afterwards.
maybe we'll get a huge guilt trip from our middle child. Probably.
Yeah. So anyway, whatever.
Jeez.
You guys have a great week. We will catch you 2 weeks from now here,
Yes.
and maybe next weekend somewhere else.
Maybe everyone else is traveling for spring break too, and
Maybe
they
too.
won't miss us.
If you've got spring break, enjoy it.
I don't know.
All right, guys, get out there, build something awesome, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.